Hello, it's mid-July at Hidcote Garden Centre and Gardens, and we're just going to talk about a few things. Might do a little bit of work as well. What you call a type of work where what's that work where it's only you only pretend, not performative work, you know. It's like when you go around with a clipboard, pretending you're busy, or a hammer. But we're going to look at various things. There's so much on at this time. That's Paul's Best Yellow. And there's two clumps of it. There's a clump here and a clump over there. And the clump over there has no brown leaves in it. And this clump does have brown leaves in it. I don't know. We dug the other one up a year or two ago and spread it out. Maybe that's why. But we'll start at two things here. People say, oh, isn't that a great way to have the white rose and the red rose and all this? But what happened was the white rose, was a rose called Kent. And it got very bad downy mildew. So we dug every single bit of it up. We put in Penstemon Evelyn, and we put in this German rose, which needs a little bit of work. The white rose came back. It's got no typical, hardly any bloody mildew in it, or downy mildew in it. Typical. So we need to do a job in this rose, and I feel a bit guilty now. I actually feel very guilty not doing this, because I was in a garden. I was in Vancouver, and particularly Vancouver Island and Victoria and all that, and we went to Butchart Gardens and massive big rose garden, and it was all perfect. Things are done the old-fashioned way, you know, like the weed. The old-fashioned way, you have a weed. You don't say, oh, isn't that lovely, wildflowers, isn't it great for bees? No, weeds out. Look, out. Zero tolerance. You have to weed. And incidentally, it's a particular gardener who annoys me. He's always on talking about stuff and he never mentions weeding. That's like you doing a course in car mechanics and you never learn how to change the oil. You know, that's okay, that's all I'll say about that. But anyway, Butchart Gardens was amazing. I think they have 50, 60 gardeners, but it's just worth every penny. It was €40 in or $40 in, and it was just well worth it. I couldn't believe it. I was walking around with my mouth open saying, look at this, and then you think what you've seen is the best ever, and then you walk around the next and there's something else, and you're saying all of them, how did they get that? How did they get that to go like that? And you're looking, typical gardener, you're looking for mistakes. And you say, there's no bloody mistakes here. I'm getting a bit annoyed. I can't find any mistakes. And that's how good a Butchart garden is. But anyway, so go back to normal gardening. Penstemon Evelyn needs to be deadheaded about 10 minutes work here. I'll just do a little bit of it. What you're doing, I'll give an example. That's the spent flower, and that's the new growth there. So you would cut it to about here, you'd leave that, and that will come up and flower again. So a few minutes, and maybe tomorrow. And same with the rose. Taking too much off, but you can see, maybe bring it back to here. That needs to be done. This needs to be cut back. A lot of these Astrantias need to be cut back now. There's two ways that you can actually cut into the ground if it's wet. If it's wet and they get plenty of water, you can cut to the ground. They will regreen up, and they also will reflower. So that needs a bit of work. And what tends to happen to the older leaves, they get like this. And where the newer leaves are like this. So a good cut back. You know. Oh, look at that. That's Helianthus salicifolius, which is the Helianthus, which is a sunflower that looks like willow. Salicifolius, foliage like willow. It's beautiful for the foliage alone, never mind the flowers. And a few things here. We had a very dry week, 2 weeks, and see the Persicarias, they normally go a nice reddy colour as they fade, but they're not going to. They're going to stay brown, so they need to be gone through, all removed. And you could use clippers, but there's a few fresh ones. But more importantly, I got this from Hillside Garden Centre as a present in Belfast about 2 years ago. this Agapanthus. It's going to flower. And when you're clipping, you'd end up clipping the Agapanthus. Oh yes, that was a beautiful lupin. And we cut it back. And look, we need to cut it back even further. Right back to the green. That's much better. There's no advantage of allowing those bits. We have new lupins. These are the West Counties, which are super. But certainly there's this new lupin I just heard about, which is meant to repeat and repeat and repeat. So we're going to try that out, see will it repeat. But anyway, that looks better there. Someone just told me. Someone, look at that Lychnis. The silver against the red. And someone just said, oh, that's a double flower. And it has a double flower. I never knew that. I just saw the overall colour. So I must look up what it is. Just this minute. We got rid of our rabbit, finally. And there's the rabbit damage there, but it's gone. And I'll show you the evidence of how we got rid of it. We didn't get rid of it. We found a dead rabbit with bits missing, so one of the predator birds must have got it. We're having trouble with this. I had it 2 years and it didn't do anything, and it was him and hawing about it. But it's a Crocosmia. It's called Hellfire. It's better. It's definitely better than Lucifer in terms of it not flopping. And it's just a darker colour, so it's worth trying out. Now we move further along. Shasta Daisy. See the way it's after completely collapsing. And far too much stuff in here. You might say, why did I plant this here? And the answer is, I didn't plant it here. I didn't plant it here. It made its own way here. I wouldn't have put such a long one in. It's never going to do anything this year. So we leave that piece. See, it's in the way of the Helenium. See the Helenium here. Not much work, look. Yeah. And the next time that you go on a lovely old railway journey, you know what you say? Thank you, Mr. Pickaxe, because that's what built the railways in the 19th century. Look at the hole, look at the gap we have here. And we can see how it's bullied the geranium, bullied the Polemonium. So we get these few bits out here and then plant something in it. And It actually looks okay. Cut back the Polemonium flowers, the dead flowers. And that will fill up again. Look at that. It looks good, doesn't it? What is it? I think it's called Knautia. So we'll move further on. Look at the height of that Eupatorium. It's a white one. You see? And we had I had a group in yesterday, and they asked me how did I get the stuff to grow so well. I said, oh, the secret is the last ice age, because it ground up all the rock into nice dusty particles, and then they hold the organic matter and they hold the water, and that's why it grows. And we live in a country with lots of rain as well, great for the plants, not so good for the people. But anyway, that's the reason why. That hasn't even flowered yet. That's going to be amazing. I need to do a bit of forensic analysis. You can see where the Crocosmias were being hit. Were being eaten by the rabbit because it's flat. And you can see the new growth. And they're going to flower. I don't know what variety it is, but I knew the reason I planted it, it's the latest flowering variety there is. Paul's Best Yellow will be finished. And that's a different that's a different clump. And there's no brown, well, the only brown bit was this piece here. But isn't it just perfect clear yellow? Move further on.
Colour lupin that was there a while back. Do you know what that's called? What the colour is?
It was lovely, wasn't it? Oh, what's next? Yeah. And we continue on. A few things. White Buddleja. Great thing about the white Buddleja is it's where the butterflies always land in it for selfies, because they show up so well against the white flower. Where when the butterflies are on that one, the dark one, you can't see them. They're kind of shy butterflies go on that one, and the more exuberant ones go on that one. It looks just amazing when a butterfly lands in it, but they never do it for the video, you know. Look, this is purple moorgrass coming up. Transparent. It is beautiful. It will do heavy wet ground once it's not too shaded. It is super plant, neat plant, and that's a seedling we left. And look at the Sanguisorba. I think I don't even know the name of it. The only thing I'm interested in with Sanguisorbas is that they don't flop. If they flop a lot, I'll get rid. But look, that's beautiful. If I thought it was going to flop, I'd cut to here, because I won't stake. Now that was really good this year. That Rodgersia podophylla was good. That's caused by was the very warm weather we had. That's what that was caused. That caused that. And look at this. I didn't even know we had this. They just come in everywhere. Knautias, and the problem with they're lovely, but you have to root this because they get mildew out of it. So we remove them, and they always come back. But that's Francoa, bridal wreath. But it's going off a bit now, but it's lovely. And we have a very nice Potentilla Arc-en-ciel. Rainbow, I think it's called. Probably just it's the Potentilla, and it's just a little bit untidy.
Hypericum.
Oh, Hypericum Hidcote. That's it. No, wrong. Always, it's hardwired into your system to get rid of the willow herb. And this very good rose, it's Buff Beauty, and somebody did remove, someone did a bit of cutting back and missed a little bit. Super, it's an old, it's about 100 years old I think at this stage, this variety, but it's great. Here's one here. We're mid-July, so I probably would have went back a bit further. But that will reflower this year. It'll be in flower in end of August, mid-August. Oh, look at that Hebes. Didn't even know I had that. That's interesting. That's you know, this is lost there, so that's going to have a spot for that. In the winter time we lift it. Is that better already? We got rid of all the old petals. They got stuck, and you just want to get them. This, you know what we call this video? Stuff you never learn in gardening school. We got here. That's fallen over. Sorry. That's better. Better, but that's Black Knight. It is beautiful, one of the really old varieties. Buddlejas are giving a bit of trouble at the moment. They're getting this aphid. I only saw it this year, first time, and it disfigures them a little bit. It's just one of these things. What have we got here? Yeah, we did a job here. We cut back Potentilla Arc-en-ciel. We had to cut it back. It was falling over, and we had this beautiful Lavatiera, and it's fallen over now. It's beautiful. I thought, but everything has grown so strong. But and these Rudbeckias are going mad. So when I planted that Lavatiera about 2 months ago, this was all low, and that was the biggest plant in the place. And now look. And if we had time, we would do a little bit of deadheading with the Alistromeres, a lift and twist. Like that. We never have time. As we leave that there. Now, next job. Oh, look. That's our first. That's Morning Sun, Morgensonne. That's our first of the late flowering sunflowers, Helianthus. Perennial sunflowers. Super. Absolutely lovely. So easy. And look, we have, that's a Stackies. They are so easy. It's looking really, really great. You see the way the companion lactiflora has sort of fallen over a bit, but it's okay. We find with this particular Persicaria that we let it fall apart and it opens in the middle, and then new growth comes up to the middle and fills up. So we don't have to do anything. What else? Let me see, there's something else. Oh yes. Stuff in here. I've never used this before. Well, I've used it over the years. It's like a hoe, but a very heavy hoe. Some people call it third world hoe. It's very handy if you've heavy ground and you want to do a bit of weeding, heavy weeding. And for instance here, see those weeds. See, look. Get all the bits up. It's very good for if you've got humps that you want to hollow out, that you want to bring down. Go. Oi, behave yourself. So that's how you use that, and as I said, it has not uses for air. You know, you can't go in narrow little areas with it, but it does have a lot of uses, and particularly to give it always give it a good swing. So that's that done. Now what else is there to do? Yeah, we have to do a few things down here. Oh yeah, we look at the pampas around. This pampas was cut back, and it's the dwarf on mini pampas, and it hasn't recovered brilliantly. I'm madly happy with it, but I'll show you the other ones how well they've done after being cut back. Now the weed. We have here. And this, because it's your second option. Here we go. So I remember when I worked years ago, and they're all much older than me, the men, and the big issue in the morning was the spades. Who got the good spade? He used to fight over the spades. Get a good spade. That was my spade. Oh no, it wasn't. No, you can take. No, I won't take that spade. No, you can't get them to take any spade. The gap in there. A few things. That can still be, but it gives trouble. It has to be removed when we see it because it takes over. I got it somewhere from someone, and did we even get it all? No, you won't get that without. It did a little bit of damage to the miscanthus. That should still be there. Yeah, we got most of it. So, an old chap told me how to sort that out. Once he said, you just put lawn weed killer on it because it'll kill that, like, because that's broadleaf and it won't kill the grass. But you can go down that route. Oh, look at that. We removed there was a large poplar here and removed it last year, and that was suffering badly. And look at it now this year. It's sort of coming into its own again. It'll be even better next year. But So just one other thing about gardening is every now and again you have to remove stuff. And we need to go in here without doing any damage. Get the robin around the hedge. And the nettle. It is a bit nettles. There we go. It's kind of a holding exercise. And we're the last generation of gardeners who don't wear gloves. When I worked in the nurseries in Germany, the real gardeners didn't wear gloves. It was the ordinary workers wore gloves, and it was a sign that you weren't a real gardener if you wore gloves. It's all changed now. It's good for the arthritis. Now we'll do two things. We're going to take that out. And we have to take out the Pye Weed. The Pye Weed has to come out. It was just seeded in there. We don't want it, but it's just going to flower. So we take it out when it finishes flowering. The gap in there. And what do we plant? We're going to plant Smilacinias, which are like Solomon sails. And there it is. We have some already here. Look, we have one already. See it? See it there? And that's the astilbe we don't want. It's only a little seedling, but we don't want it. And we don't want Japanese anemone. What we've had to do with the Japanese anemone, as soon as they finish flowering, have the dead head, not let them seed, because they're lovely. A Japanese anemone can be a terrible enemy. Here's another enemy. So 2 Smilacinias here. One planting now. 2 is enough, I think. Maybe 3. We hand this other one out. And it's for the leafiness. It has lovely flowers in the spring when nothing's around. And they're going to go there. Just one last thing. We're just going to go around and look at the Pampas that we cut back. Oh, and look at this first. Look at that. You can never get your fill. Never get your fill of Philopendula. Now we finish off around here. We got rid of it. The plant that has become a weed, so that's all to be planted in the autumn time. Oh, look at that. That's Bellevue. Lovely tall one. A lovely, one of the bigger aspers. Kind of mad about the aspers. When I was in Canada, these were very popular. The oak leaf hydrangeas. It's a little floppy for me. Was it a month ago? 5 weeks ago? 5 weeks ago, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, they were absolutely butchered. Remember, I photographed the dog on top of one of the stumps. And look, already they're the flowering shoots. They're so fresh, best thing ever. So I'm definitely going to cut them hard back once every second year, and maybe even go once a year in the spring, but you can't go wrong with that. There's lots of other stuff to talk about here, but we're finished.